Hi everyone, so it's August 5th and welcome to Savemyplant. Alright, so I've seen a lot of updates. I haven't done one myself for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and do one. First off, I'd like to point out, come here you little cricket. Come on, Woo! Kicker. Alright, so there's a very huge shortage of crickets in my neighborhood. I don't know why. I think it's because we have a lot of lizards, so he eats all the crickets. So I actually buy crickets from a pet store and I release them in my yard. Now I thought these were bayou crickets. Bayous are not, as intrusive than most crickets. They actually don't require to be indoors when it gets cool at night. These mofos really like to come indoors at night, and the size of them are not the size of a bayou large cricket. These are actually African field crickets. Not what I wanted. They're very intrusive, very noisy, which is, well, that was the whole point. I like the sound of crickets at night. So that's what you get for trying to introduce bugs into your garden. Alright, so here's the San Manzano that got beat up by the raccoon. It's still pretty much in shock. It never really recovered. One thing about tomatoes is once it goes into such shock, such as abuse of a raccoon slamming into it, it makes it more susceptible to disease because it's in shock, it's weakened, its immune system is down. So it's hasn't had an easy life. But as you can see, I did get rid of the end rot. I don't have that trouble anymore. I had quite a bit of problem with it, but I've been feeding it calcium supplement once a week, and it shows to have been very beneficial. I have no more end rot. The plant is actually itself looking a lot healthier than it was, so I'm really happy with it. I'll be able to cherish whatever tomatoes I can get off of that. Be fantastic. My cherry tomato, not doing so well. I'm very jealous of other YouTubers and their cherry tomatoes, because you guys got a lot of them and mine's pretty pathetic looking and tiny. I only put out enough for just a handful of salads. I guess it's alright. Rose tomato, I've been picking these almost every day now. I like just to slice them up, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of Slap Your Mama. Thanks, JB, that shit is awesome. If you guys don't have Slap Your Mama, you better go get some. Alright, here's a nice big fat Cherokee purple. I've never actually grown one this size. Usually they're about the size of my hand. About the size of this one right here. But this year, getting really fat ones. Okay. Some Romas. As you can see, there's a lot of Romas in here. All the way down. Roma, 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 Roma. Oh, Roma. Okay. Side squeeze. Here we have the yellow pear tomatoes. There's a lot of them. Pick these every day also for salads. They're really delicious. They have a nice thick skin to it. Nice and crispy. They're not frothy. And there's a ton of robust flavors. Yummy. Now that's tomato. I don't care what you say. There's not a supermarket in the world that sells a tomato better than what you can grow in your own garden. Not a single. They can't even come close. Okay. So here's the big boys. This one is a little bit smaller. It doesn't get as much sun as the other ones. I'll show you the difference. This one is getting maybe 6, 7 at most hours of sun a day. And I'll show you the one that's getting about 12 to 13 hours of sun a day. And See, there's just a lot of aromas. Funny thing is, all the heirloom tomatoes got affected by blight. All of my standard aromas and my big boys, which are standard genetic tomatoes, they've developed over time on its own. It evolved on its own. It didn't have the help of science to help it be drought resistant or bug resistant or disease resistant, and they're the healthiest, and they do not have blight. And these are the big boys right there. Here's another aroma. You can see there's a lot of aromas. Never ending, really. So here's one of the big boys that gets a lot of sun a day. As you can see, there's a significant amount of sizing difference. Okay. Over here is a stunted. It is the Roma that was stunted. As you can see, there's a lot of tomatoes in there, all over this puppy. I mean, there's not 3 inches you go without running into another tomato, which is awesome. So keep in mind, stunted tomato plants does not mean you're not going to get. Does not mean you're gonna, you're not going to have tomatoes, or doesn't mean your tomatoes are going to be tiny as tiny as the plant. You're still going to get a decent tomato. As you see, this is another Roma, slightly stunted as well. This one should have grown at least to the top of this pole right there. It is a determinate, but it didn't. But has a lot of tomatoes on it, all over the place. Same with this one. This one's actually pretty much the size that I expected to get. Should be just a little bit taller, but it'll grow a little bit more. So there's more aromas. As you can see, I have a lot of ripe tomatoes. A lot of ripe grapes. So within a week, within the next 2-3 weeks, I should be able to start picking all of the aromas, and then start making some good chili. Also make some salsa. Also can tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, to make tomato sauce for pastas or lasagnas. Also lasagna. I don't really care for pasta unless it's in a lasagna. Bell pepper. These are doing pretty good. There's a bell pepper there, and another bell pepper right down there. And these are doing well. As you can see, I do not stake my bell peppers like everyone else does on YouTube. Personally, I don't see the purpose in it. They stand straight, they grow tall, the stalks are nice and thick. It can really support its own weight. Right here, this is a lemon thyme. That stuff is awesome on chicken, on a roasted chicken. Also, if you don't have lemons, the lemon thyme has a strong taste of lemon, so it makes up for it. Here is a basil. Now, last year I grew this same kind of basil, and it grew about 3 to 4 feet tall, and it just keeps going. It never really seems to die. And yeah, it tastes like basil. Right here you have the Fresno chili. These are going to be yellow. As you can see, it's starting to turn yellow. Can't wait for these puppies. Delicious. Here's some standard thyme. Here's another bell pepper. You can see there's a lot of bells coming in. And another thyme. And my Greek basil. I haven't used much of this at all, but it's grown a lot. The bees like it, so that's the reason why I haven't removed the flowers, because I want the bees to stick around. Same with the catnip. It attracts a lot of bees, and bees are very beneficial. Right here is a super chili. These are going to turn red. You see that one right there is red. That one's starting to turn red. And so once they are all red, I will pick them. I'm going to test one out and really just kind of see how spicy they are. I want to pickle them and use them for salads. at the end of this video, I'll go ahead and eat this puppy. And I'll tell you how hot it is. Okay. These are cayennes. You can see there's some big old cayennes on there. Now, what I do every year is I grow a bunch of cayenne peppers. I toss them in a dehydrator and grind them up. And this just 4 plants right here will be enough cayenne to supply me for a year, maybe. I like my food spicy, but I don't purely rely on cayenne chili pepper to make stuff spicy. So it should do alright. This habanero has been here for a good 2 months now. I haven't gotten a single habanero off of it. It's pretty disappointing. I really like habaneros. I don't know what the deal is. And this is a cherry pepper. This one I've had a chance to pick a few that ripened up, and you'll be amazed, they really resemble red bell peppers. They're not too spicy at all. It has the same texture, the same very similar taste to a red bell, but just a slight kick, very, very light kick and spice. So if you're not big on spice but you like your bell peppers, you might want to get one of those. Right here is a sweet banana. You can see this one looks pretty good. These will get bright yellow, so I would say that one will be ready in about a week. This is a yellow bell. I picked 2 of them off yesterday. They were great. And a green bell, which is awesome. Alright, that's my update. See you later.